Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of my flight training series on Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we're going to be looking at the third section, VFR navigation. This starts with departure, and it looks like we're still in Sedona. After the takeoff, we'll take a safe altitude of 6,500 feet, 500 feet above the circuit, fly over the runway at 41 degrees to start your navigation from a known location.
Today we're going to leave our familiar airport of Sedona and venture south to reach Flagstaff Airport. To guide us, we will rely on the navlog. It references the different legs necessary to reach our final destination. Our first goal is to fly over the runway center at 6,500 feet with a heading of 41 degrees. By doing so, we will be perfectly set up to engage with the first leg of the navlog. After takeoff, we will continue crosswind as if we were following the standard traffic pattern. However, we won't turn downwind. Instead, we will continue climbing to 6,500 feet before turning on course toward the runway center. Okay, you can take off whenever you're ready.
Alright, let's go. Don't really know what V1 speed is on this aircraft, but we'll just give it a minute. Let's try here. There we go.
Nice command during takeoff. Your target altitude is 6,500 feet.
Just
That's
move this
500
navlog
feet
out of the
above
way.
the traffic pattern, as we don't want to interfere with incoming aircraft.
Got a good climb.
Maintain 75 knots.
Can't quite maintain 75 climbing, but we'll make it eventually. Same story as the other episodes. This aircraft is extremely underpowered. But it's not like they didn't warn us of that. Nice and slow. Just about at 5,700 feet. So that should help us speed up a bit once we level off. There we go. And we'll just watch our speed to get up to 75 knots. There we go. Just keep it full throttle here for a minute, maybe a little less. We're a bit high.
As you climb, turn left so you stay in the vicinity of the airport. Maintain 75 knots.
Bring the throttle down a bit. We gotta keep climbing, so actually throw that back up. There's 6,000. 500 more. So it looks like we're over that waypoint, but they say 6,500, so. Just climb a little faster here.
Maintain 75 knots.
Alright, maybe not. If you really want 75, I won't be able to climb that fast. Almost at 6,500. There we go.
You took a bit too long to reach the target altitude. You want to climb faster to reach a safe altitude. To ensure accurate navigation, you want an accurate starting point. And what's more accurate than the runway you just departed from? Go ahead and position your plane above the airport.
Let's make our way back over there. It's telling me to maintain 41 degrees, but I gotta get over to the departure position first. We'll keep it around 6,000 and around the right speed. So let's bring the throttle back now that we're level. Slowly getting there. Probably should have continued turning left after I took off, so I wouldn't have to come back so far. But we'll make it work. I don't have experience using the navlog for navigation, since I usually fly IFR, so I'm used to waypoints, but not counting time and distance, so this will be interesting and actually useful for me to learn. Just about there. Still around 6,500 feet. And let's go 41 degrees.
Nice.
A bit too far there.
That's it for navigation departure. Well done.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured we'd be flying the whole route, but that makes it easy. Alright, well, we're not trying to get a perfect score. I'm just trying to get through them, both to learn, but also to see if we can complete it before 2024 comes out. So let's move on to Dead Reckoning. It's a method widely used in VFR flights. This training session is all about the basics of Dead Reckoning. Starting from a known location at safe altitude, 6,500 feet. Alright, so it looks like we're just continuing directly from where we left off in the last one. Let's begin.
We're currently at 6,500 feet. About 30 seconds flight time to Sedona Airport. As we make our way toward the runway center, let's talk more about navigation. When you need to set and maintain a heading, you'll want to rely on your heading indicator. Compasses are prone to errors, especially during turns or while accelerating or decelerating.
It definitely sounds like... Yep,
we're in position
should keep
over
talking.
the runway center. Next step is to validate the time. That's a fancy way of saying start your stopwatch. On the nav log, you can see our next waypoint, Munns Park, is at a 41-degree heading about 5 minutes away. That means we need to be on a 41-degree heading. Check your heading indicator and make your turn.
Alright, let's go to 41.
Good. Maintain a 41-degree heading. As you approach Munns Park, the terrain level rises. To maintain a safe altitude, we'd better climb to 8,000 feet. Make sure you keep the same heading.
Let's just put the throttles at full to climb.
Maintain full power during your climb.
Let's go up to 8,000. Definitely getting low on airspeed, so I'm going to try to climb a little bit less. But last time that got us a pretty bad score. Not a fan of the 172 with this small of an engine, but we're making it work. Nice and slowly up to 8,000. Getting a bit to the left there.
Is basically
Let's
flying
move
a given
over.
heading for a given amount of time. Sometimes you deviate. But if you track the time flown from your last known position, you'll always have at least a range for your current position.
Slowly getting there. Almost at 8,000 now. 7,700. Still on heading. Definitely takes quite a bit of time to get anywhere in this plane, but you can enjoy the view more. It definitely is a nice view to enjoy. Probably off heading now, looking out the windows. Yep. There we go. And we're just about at 8,000. Hopefully we're not past the waypoint at this point. There we go, 8,000. Let's level off and bring the throttle down a little bit.
Okay, now get back to cruise attitude. Let the speed increase, then set cruise power at 2,300 RPM.
Let's use the pitch wheel like we're supposed to. And 2,300 RPM, which is about here, I think. No, higher. And let's pitch a bit more. And that's too much. Just hold this manually here. It's about 2,300, so now I think we're just waiting. Climbing. Don't want. Let's go back down to 8,000. Back over to 41. There we go. It's a lot to get used to watching at once.
Do you see the green patch with the lake on its right? This is Munn's
Look
Park
out the
Golf
window.
Club. We're almost there.
There we go.
Let's proceed over it and see if the stopwatch matches the navlog estimation. We all know speed can increase or decrease depending on the wind. That's why at your next waypoint, you'll want to compare your estimated time en route with the actual time flown. Validate your estimate and your progress.
All right, 2.3 miles. Oops. Looks like we're going to be a little slow. That might have been just from my navigation as well, not just the wind, but I guess we'll find out when we get there if we were supposed to be slow. So I believe we're going off the number here, 533. We're already past that. We are just about there. Finally.
there's room for improvement. Navigation
Definitely
to
40
Munds Park
seconds
is in the
more.
books.
Alright, we're completed lesson number 2. Gonna be, but maybe I'll go back and master them someday. Not here to do that this time. Alright, let's continue on to the next lesson for VFR navigation. If the screen and audio is a bit different for this section, I'm just recording on a different day, so that would explain why. So we have landmark navigation. Looks like we're going to Flagstaff, so let's start this. Try to keep it level for now.
8,000 feet, approximately 30 seconds out from Munds Park Golf Club. While we fly over it, let's talk about landmark navigation. One of the easier methods of navigation involves following identifiable landmarks like highways, and it just so happens we have one below us. Do you see the highway on your left?
Yep, we can see that pretty easy.
That highway leads all the way to Flagstaff. Let's follow it, and we should reach Flagstaff Airport in 6 to 7 minutes.
Making a turn here, not too crazy. Seems like more than we should be, but it's not even 30 degrees. It just looks like a lot.
We don't miss it. Reset your stopwatch here and start it again.
Start the watch. Alright, I'm looking for about 7 minutes. Bit hard to see from this plane underneath us, but we know where it is generally. And luckily, it's a game, so we can just go on the outside view. Cheat a little bit. Also get some nice visuals from here. Oh, she's actually in here with us. We're the same person.
Airport's altitude is around 7,000 feet. Unlike in Sedona, the traffic pattern altitude there is standard. This means its altitude is 1,000 feet above the airport, which works out to 8,000 feet. We need to fly over the airport before entering the traffic pattern. Since we don't want to interfere with other aircraft already in the traffic pattern, let's fly at least 500 feet above pattern altitude. So let's climb to 8,500 feet on the way.
Start the climb now, just slow. And full power. Let me just pause here. It'd probably help if my throttle was plugged in. Alright, let's go again. It should actually work now that it's plugged in. I was wondering why when I gave it some throttle before, it didn't really react. I thought they had me locked out while they were introducing the lesson. Looks like we can still see it down there. Just gonna make sure that is the highway. Yep. Looks like it goes straight for quite a while here. Or generally straight. We're still climbing slowly. If you guys are wondering, this is on 2560 by 1440, so 2K, and all ultra settings. Or it should be all ultra settings. Looks great. Definitely some lower res you can see when you look a bit closer on the trees or the rocks, but obviously it's a flight sim. You're always going to be above them. But you can see like right there, there's some detail loss, and even on the cliffs in the distance, but it's still amazing, and we're only a few days away from 2024 at this point, and the quality increases on that. It's just crazy to hear about, like the texture resolution they were able to do, even in unmapped areas, just using satellite, is going to be amazing for just small details like this, where it's not somewhere famous like the Grand Canyon, because of course they have those custom made.
Perfect. Maintain 8,500 feet until we reach the airport.
All right, just under 8,500, but we're almost there. have a speed requirement, so
Set
that's nice. It's a
RPM at
bit...
2300.
I spoke too soon. Let's bring it back a little bit. I think that's about 2300, and we're a bit high. Where's the highway? Okay. A little further back, we're about 2400. Very small corrections on the throttle to actually get it where it needs to go. Looks like 2300. She's not saying anything, but I'm just gonna assume it's okay. If you don't remember, we're looking at the RPM gauge just on the side over here. And now that I zoom in, I can see I'm a little high still. There we go. That's perfect, 2300. And we'll just continue. 4.5 minutes, so a couple more minutes to go. And we're staying around 85 and around 80 knots. At least they don't have that requirement. I think what really shines for me, especially because you're cruising above clouds a lot of the time in airliners, is the lighting. The lighting system and the clouds and how they work together. Especially when you have just those really cloudy days and sunrise or something and you break through the clouds and just the way the light bounces off all of them. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm not sure what changes they made to that kind of system in 2024. I haven't heard much about it. But the ground lighting is going to be significantly better, I heard, with the... I can't remember the term they called it, but where every light source is making its own actual light. So every single street light will actually be producing light and not just a yellow dot, basically. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, the yellow dot looks good from above, but I imagine it's going to look a lot more realistic without that. Let's see the airport now. Thought I saw it coming up, but I couldn't tell from further away.
There it is, Flagstaff Airport, on the right side of the highway. Well done, but there's room for improvement.
Oh, we've just been flying straight, but I guess she wants it right on 8,500. That's fine. We got through the lesson. Alright. And we're doing arrival. So we're coming in where we left off. We're doing the descend circuit at 80 knots, downwind at 80 still, putting in our flaps. Then we're going to go to 65 knots all the way from the base leg to final. Should be pretty easy. Let's do it. Let's keep the throttles around where they are since we're starting back where we left off.
Flagstaff Airport is right in front of us, and we're currently at 8,500 feet. That's 500 feet above the standard traffic pattern. It's a good altitude to avoid interfering with aircraft already in the pattern.
Slow down a bit. Just at 80,
Proceed
or it's
above
at 80 in the
terrain,
screen.
making sure you maintain our current altitude.
Nice and slow. We'll get there one day. Between the last episode and this episode, I've done a bunch more flights in the A320, and this is just so slow compared to that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just very different to get used to. I will admit I don't enjoy the scenery as much in an airliner, so I got a lot more things to focus on. Let's just go up a little bit. We're
We're
a bit
going
low.
to land on runway 21, coming
We're
from
supposed
the
to be
right
turning.
to the left. We'll be following a left-hand traffic pattern as we did in Sedona.
Start turning a little bit before she tells me.
Reduce speed to 80 knots and start a turn to the left toward a 120-degree heading.
Let's go left here. She said reduce speed, but we're definitely far below 80 knots right now, so we're actually going to keep the throttles up for now. Should probably watch my heading. Just going to quickly open the objectives. Probably should have that open for this. There we go. Where'd he go? There we go. Definitely should have that open so I can remember what she wants me to do here. 120. So we got to keep turning here. Sorry about that. But at least we got it open now. And we're still supposed to be at 8,500, so let's go down a little bit and bring the throttle back. And almost at 120.
As we pass over the runway again, start descending to 8,000 feet. Still
definitely already did
80
that.
knots.
Let's turn
You'll
left.
enter the pattern in the middle of the downwind leg for runway 21.
Let's descend to 8,000. Bring the throttle back here. Definitely going over speed. We'll just bring it back to idle for now. See what we need to do.
We've got clearance to enter the downwind leg and land on runway 21. Keep your attitude, then follow the standard pattern.
Let's level off at 8,000. And we'll just go a bit
Extend
further away.
10 degrees of flaps.
And we'll extend our flaps. And bring the throttle back up so we don't lose too much speed.
Complete the traffic pattern until landing, as you learned previously.
Alright, we'll keep it around 8,000 for now and around 80 knots, so we gotta go a little faster. If I remember correctly, after this waypoint is when we need to go down to 65. And more throttle. Not even really climbing, just keeping it level, and it needs a lot of power. Let's turn left for the base leg. I'm going to bring my throttle way down to idle just to get down to 65. We're also going to be descending at the same time. We'll do about a 25-degree bank. Let's give it some throttle so we don't lose too much speed. Not sure what altitude they want me at. I'm starting to go down. They haven't told me, so I'm just going to do a normal final. If I end up being too low for what they want, that's fine. As long as we make the landing. As I've said before, the point of these lessons is to get through them, to see how they teach me, and to do them for fun and to learn, but I'm not too worried about the actual points. Alright, let's turn in for our final. Let's bring the throttles down to idle. So we're gaining a lot of speed. Hopefully we can bleed a little bit more off before we land. We're coming in a bit low, so that's good. Well, we got 2 whites, 2 reds. We're good. Got a good glide slope. And I can't talk today. About 70 knots, so not too bad. A little low. Let's bring it up. Oh, I see. I'm landing on the threshold here. Let's give it a little power. Just too focused on the runway, not the actual markings. That should be good. Keep it a little power in. We're landing quite slow here. And we'll cut to idle now. And do a little flare. And we'll try to maintain the center line here. There we go. That was pretty smooth. I'm happy with that. Definitely wish I just glided right to the touchdown zone, but that's alright.
Good integration, but
There we go.
something tells me you can do even better.
Yeah, just maintaining the exact altitudes is what she's upset about. Alright, let's see what we have next. I believe there's only one more. And we have our first solo navigation. So let's see if we can do this on our own. Looks like we're going from Flagstaff, taking off, climbing to 8,500 with a left turn right away. 500 feet above the pattern, we're going to be entering into Sedona just like we did in the lessons. And choose whatever method of navigation I'm comfortable with to reach it. Once I reach my destination, fly over Sedona at 6,500 feet to identify the runway, then descend to 6,000, integrate a left downwind for runway 21. Follow the traffic pattern and keep the speed at 65 knots during the final. Flare, land, and brake. So everything we've done before as usual. Let's give it a shot here. Bring the throttles back to idle so we can begin.
Are you ready for this? You are going solo on a full VFR flight. From takeoff to touchdown, it's all you. You'll be departing Flagstaff Pulliam Airport, handling every navigational step on your way to Sedona. It's the return trip from your previous lessons. You'll be flying over the same landmarks. You remember them? The highway, Munns Park Golf Club. Choose whatever you're confident with. Dead reckoning, landmark navigation, or both. This is what you've trained for. Just remember everything you've learned. And most of all, enjoy the ride.
Alright, let's go ahead and take off. Our parking brake is already off. Throttle's up about halfway. And we're starting to roll, so let's go full. And keep it on the center line. I believe this aircraft needs about 55 to 60 knots to rotate. So I'm going to close the nav log for now. We're going to just circle the airport while we... Okay, that was weird. Get our altitude. Then we can start with waypoints so we're not losing our airspeed and ruining the timing on climbing. Let's rotate here. Let's see what it tells us to do. I imagine it's going to be similar to that. Yep, just maintain speed, which we will never reach while climbing, and reach 8,500 feet while remaining in the vicinity. So we'll just do fun loops once we get to the end here. Enjoy the view of the mountains and the forest. About the same thing as we have been for all of the lessons. No cities in sight, just these little towns, which is amazing. Well, I guess Sedona's a city, but you can't really see that from here. Unless it's over there. Lots of trees, so who can tell. Let's not crash the airplane while I look around at the windows. And we'll go a bit further here before we start circling to climb. Throttles are still full. Try to keep around 50 knots. I don't want to stall. I also don't want to climb so slowly. Start our left turn here, just a small one at 10 degrees. Put all our focus to climbing. We're at 7,600 feet, so only 900 feet more to go. Very, very slow. Just go level or parallel with the runway. As if we were in the traffic pattern to land. We have a bit of extra airspeed, so let's use it up on climbing. And like I said, we'll try to keep it around 50, not too slow, but we don't need to be going fast while we could be climbing. There's 50. Almost at 8,000. Really nice if this Cessna had a secret second engine. This is terribly slow and underpowered, but we're making it work. Maybe some nitrous or something. And we're stalling because I'm not watching the airspeed. Just trying to get up too fast. Let's bring the nose down a little bit. 45 knots. Maybe a bit more. Just so we're not staying that close to stalling, and then we're going to lose our altitude anyway. And we'll make a right circle here, so once we climb, we'll be over top of the runway. Once we complete climbing. Almost there. 8,300. 200 more feet. And we can finally gain some speed. Just keep banking to the right. Tempted to open these windows every time I see the do not open above 143. We'll never be reaching 143. Never have and never will in this aircraft unless we're nose diving. And 100 feet to go. Gain some speed now. So we still have to go over the runway. There we go, 8,500 feet. What do they want now? Set cruise altitude. So let's work on the pitch wheel, elevator wheel. Reduce the throttle on the yoke, or sorry, pressure on the yoke. There we go. Set 2,300 RPM. Position the aircraft over the center of the runway. We're in a perfect spot for that. Let's raise the throttle a little bit. And the pitch wheel a bit more. Not quite perfect here. But it doesn't have to be perfect. I hate this pitch wheel. Elevator wheel. Sorry. Is that what it's called? Elevator trim wheel. Alright, we're basically level. Trying to keep it level with just the wheel so I don't have to do any work. It's always the best thing. And we're level, just 100 feet over, but that's not a big deal. Let's quickly open our navlog and start our timer. 6:42. Start stopwatch. I already did that. Just quickly reset it if that's what it wants. There we go. Let's fix our altitude for them. Reach Munns Park. So let's go heading 164 now. Which will be a right turn right here. I'm going to go a bit extra just for a moment since we didn't actually start from the runway center. Alright, now we'll turn to 164. I'm sure I'm not going to hold it there perfectly, and I'm sure I don't need to, because we'll see the actual golf course and the highway, so we can use a bit of visual navigation as well. Let's just close this for now, because we have 6.5 minutes, 5.5 minutes left. I don't need to be blocking that much of our screen for the whole time. just open it soon. A bit more of a turn this way. See what we can see out here. So far, a whole lot of nothing in terms of actual visual landmarks. See if we go to the outside view, we can find the highway. Yes, the highway is here. It looks like it's wrapping around this way. I believe when I saw the overview of the flight, it wasn't supposed to be right underneath us for the first section. It's supposed to be off to the side while we fly kind of past it, and I believe it's going to turn up here back to where we are. I guess we'll find out. I'm not actually at 164. Fix that. I'm going to overcorrect intentionally for a little bit, and then I'll go back to 164. Time to enjoy the ride. Alright, let's go to 164. It's going to be nice and mad at me in terms of points for not maintaining 8,500 feet for 20 minutes. That's okay. 8,700 feet, no big deal. Sensitive plane, and I'm not a pro. That's okay. Why my view keeps going off to the side when I come back in. I wish it was just reset. That's okay. So I have the tablet in front of me for. If you're wondering, it's running a program called Sim Dashboard, which, if you don't know, it's free. Well, it can be free. It's free for what most people need it for, maybe one game. I think you get some pre-built designs. I have the paid version, which I believe was $6 or something for life. I don't remember because I bought it so many years ago. I use it for plenty of games, Farming Sim, both. I used it for 19 and for 22, and I will use it for 25 once some pages are made. 25 isn't out yet. It comes out in just 2 days from when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on November 10th, so that's exciting. And then I'm off topic, but I use it, of course, for Microsoft Flight Sim, as you can see. I just have it as a view panel, so I can look around like this. And I have instrument views, which is great for running checklists and quickly finding what you need. And a nice reset button. If I swipe over, though, you can have it be a lot of things. You can have it as this instrument panel, which is very helpful and can make it pretty realistic to fly that way. But I prefer the cameras, because I can always look around. Because I can always stay in the cockpit and look at the actual gauges. Alright, enough talking about that. Let's correct our course, because of course I'm off. No pun intended. That's okay. Let's just look outside and see if we can actually find what we're looking for. That's all that really matters. And it looks like the golf course is here. Maybe over there, but I think these green spots are the course. Where's the highway at here? Yeah, the highway is still next to us. So we're looking good. A little over altitude. Let's go down a bit. I'm happy with our speed. As you can see, not putting much effort into the yoke, so the elevator trim wheel is set nicely. Beautiful view. Such a nice looking plane. Really looks like real metal. You can see how the light reflects off of it. Almost looks like it's used well, I'd say. A little bit dented here and there. The way the light's hitting it. That definitely looks like the golf course. I'll just aim at that for now until we 100% can confirm that. It's not loaded in the best detail from this distance. Just gonna close this for a second. Let's try to get the thumbnail. Couple screenshots. See if we can go to the showcase mode and make it a little bit nicer to look at. Turn our speeds down a bit here. Not going to do this too long since I know the golf course is right there. I hope the golf course is right there. Alright, that might have been an extreme correction on the drone rotation speed. Let's fix that. There we go. Try to get one nice visual real quick. Good this game really looks. And let's go back into this camera because of course we're going way off track. That's okay. It's about enjoying the view as well. Let's just confirm that's definitely a golf course. Yes it is. And it's actually giving us the cheaters. So that works out. Let's check our nav log, although I'm sure it's longer than it should be. Yep, that's okay. And we'll reset it, but we won't start it yet because we're not quite at the golf course. What is our altitude? 9,000. I think I reset my view backwards. There we go. Just trying to adjust the wheel here so I can go down without having to push on it so much. There we go. And let's start the stopwatch again. And turn to heading 222. I believe it's just here. Is that the runway lights right there? Seems like it is. Oh yeah, that's the runway right there. Well, that's not going to be difficult to navigate to. Just a matter of waiting about 5 minutes. So 10 minutes for us. Let's just try to fix this wheel in place here. We're at 8,500. Just can't get it level. And let's close this as well. We're going up. And down. Up is probably fine since we're losing altitude actually. I guess it looks like we're pitching up, but we're really not by much, so this is good here. And now we're going down. Let's just do that. Just trying to maintain the perfect altitude. There, we got it. Still need to correct it more. And one more click. Let's see. Let's just let it figure itself out first. Nope, that's going to be way too much. You can really see how much one notch does. But again, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be able to really keep you perfectly level in real life. Maybe you just turn it less than you can in the game. Either way, it's not like it's too much to ask for me to actually use the yoke and hand fly the plane as well. Just go all crazy left and right there, of course, because I can't seem to keep it nicely straight. Let's go outside again. Not like that it still says that. Let's just reset it again. Not sure why. Reset, start. I know the time, so that's okay. Navigate to Sedona. Reach the airport. There we go. I don't care about this. I know it's obviously right there. Let's just maintain 8,500 so it also completes that objective for a moment. I don't want to get past where I need to go and then have to go back just to check off the objective. There we go. Now we just need to reach the airport. Don't think we're supposed to descend now. I think we're supposed to stay at 8,500 feet. And we'll descend once we get told to. Even though it is our solo, it's giving us plenty of direction. But that's okay. Here we go. We reached the airport. Now we descend to 6,500. Set speed to 80 and fly over center. Not too difficult. So I think we'll just keep our speed at 80 by pitching. And we can descend that way. We'll speed up a bit more if we need to. But we'll keep it around 80 for now. Looks like that's descending us pretty quickly, so it should be okay. We have a good amount of space. Or distance, I should say, to get there. Yep, as if we didn't know where it was. At least we don't have to look over the nose as much now. It's still around 80. And we're descending past 7,200 in just a moment. So we're almost there. We'll definitely make it to 6,500 before the runway, I think. Oh yeah, we will. There's 7,000. Sorry about that. And there's 6,500 in just a moment. We're making good progress. And bring the throttle up so we don't lose too much speed until they tell us to. And we're at the center. So fly left, turning 120, and descend to 6,000. We're already descending because I don't have much throttle in, so that's good. And we'll just turn left. We'll do a 20 degree or 25 degree bank here. Get us over there. Looks like there's actually a waypoint over there. Yes, there is. So let's turn a bit sharper to reach it. Okay. This definitely doesn't feel like a solo, which is, I mean, I'm not going to complain about waypoints, but didn't expect them, that's for sure. So we're entering the traffic pattern here, and we're bringing the throttle back up so we don't lose too much speed. Turn left, heading 30. I feel like I'm on VATSIM when I repeat these headings back. Or say them out loud anyway. It's definitely a very hard thing to get used to talk to nobody. Talking to people, but not in a conversational way. It's only me. And maintain 80. I'm way at 60 because I thought it was going to call for 65 here, so I'll just bring the throttle up. That's okay. When we're level, it doesn't actually take too long to get to the speed we want. And I'm assuming at this waypoint it's going to want 65 when we turn for the base leg. Turning left now. Yep. And there's the 65 I thought I'd see. And imagine we're going to want 10 degrees of flaps soon. If it doesn't tell me by the next waypoint, I'll do it myself. It seems when I've been doing things early, and then it tells me to, I have to redo it, like the stopwatch. So I'm just going to try to not do it until they tell me if that's possible. We're losing altitude. A little quick, so let's bring it back. So we always land quick. Just bring it back idle now so we can lose it early. Alright, sorry about the cut there. There was a lot of stuttering, and I don't want to land while it's stuttering, so I just paused it, and now we're back. So let's just put the throttle at idle, and turn in for the landing. And I hope I don't land it too fast, as I seem to do that every single time with this airplane. So I'm going to keep it at idle, since I really need power. Which of course right now it seems like I will, but I've thought that every time early, so just leave it at idle. We're still going 80 knots, so it's plenty. We should be at 65, so yeah, we're not going to be adding anything. Definitely going to need to bleed more speed off as usual, but not too much. Start to level off here. Not going to be in the touchdown zone, but that's okay. Flare. Went a bit quick still, but it's okay. There we go. We just need to get it down at this point. There we go. Let's maintain the center line. And it looks like we'll come to a stop well before the end. And there we go. Not too bad. Is that it? We have to taxi it too.
I think a bit more practice may be a good idea.
That's okay.
Some people say the sky's the limit. I say it's just the beginning.
It's all about maintaining the perfect speed and getting better with the pitch elevator wheel, trim wheel, and that's okay with me. I believe that's all for VFR navigation. Yes, it is. All right, let's look at what we have next for our next episode. I think, yeah, we're going to be doing glider training, which I've never actually flown a glider, so this will be lots of fun to learn. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in that episode, episode 4.